morning and welcome back to Questioning Sets with me, Matt. I hope you guys are all well, all good here. Thanks very much. Had a little bit of holiday. So it was Easter, went down to Cornwall, some family stuff to do and a nice little holiday. So that's why we haven't been making any videos, because I've not been available to make them. So we are back with another review today, or another video, should we say. Yeah, we're not meant to call them reviews, are we? So back with another video today, and we're going to be talking about a perfume that really has gone off the hook a little in terms of hype. It's been around since 2018, and the nose behind it is Jacques Cavalier, and here it is, L'Immensité by Louis Vuitton. And eagle-eyed members of the public, or viewing people, should I say, will notice that I've got my bottle initial. Look, MK, don't ask, it just happened. So obviously I own it, so we know I like it, but it's a fragrance that's really kind of captured the imagination of frag heads across the globe. It seems to be getting quite a lot of hype on it in American Facebook groups, as well as those in the UK. Interestingly though, it's a fragrance that seems to get as much hate as it does love, and I completely understand exactly why. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick look at the notes, and then we'll talk a little bit about the fragrance, what it's like to wear, what it smells like, who can wear it, and all that malarkey. So at the top we have grapefruit, we have ginger, and we have bergamot. And then in the middle we have water notes, we have sage, we have rosemary and geranium. And then on the base we have ambroxan, we have amber, and we have labdanum. Now, when it comes to haters, I've heard and read rather so many descriptions of this perfume. And do you know what? I think they're pretty much all accurate. It's been described as overpriced. It certainly is. It's been described as designer smelling. Well, Louis Vuitton, designer house, so that makes sense. Unoriginal, I'm not sure about that. Uninspired, don't know about that. What else is it? It's been described as being dull. It's been described as being incredibly generic. And it's been likened to smelling like about every perfume you can think of in the freshy world. And I kind of get everybody that said all those things are kind of right. But what they're missing when they describe the perfume like that is the fact that it smells really, really, really good. It's an incredibly easy perfume to wear. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to have a little spray of it. I am wearing it today, and then we'll just talk a bit more about how it smells and how it's going to make you feel when you're wearing it. Okay, so here's the bottle. Bottle's okay, it's not brilliant. The cap is incredibly heavy though. And what I will say is, although yeah, it is stupidly expensive, once you've bought it, you can take your bottle back to a Louis Vuitton when you've finished it, if you ever finish it, and then they'll give you like a refill for a much cheaper price, so you won't have to replace it again. And the engraving thing, actually, it's a free service, so I thought, why not? Why the hell not? But when I went to try it, I went into the store, and I sprayed it on my wrist, and by the time I walked out, I thought I'd go and have a coffee and see how it plays out. And by the time I'd left the store, going for the coffee was quite pointless, because I knew I'd have to have it. It's just so nice. In fact, when I got to the coffee shop, the woman in the coffee shop said, "Oh, someone smells nice in here." So that kind of helped seal the deal. Not that I'm that vain or shallow or whatever, but it reflected what I thought the fragrance smells like. When it hits your skin, the first thing you're going to be aware of is this grapefruit, and the grapefruit is bolstered with bergamot to make it kind of almost like a bittersweet citrus cocktail with some ginger that just brings a little bit of heat. But this is always a clean, fresh, great smelling fragrance. In the middle you have water notes, you have some herbs, we have some sage, we have some rosemary, we have a little geranium. I don't really pick up on the geranium. And then in the base you have the ambroxan, and you have the amber and the labdanum. The ambrox is the most important thing of those three for me personally. The fragrance doesn't particularly get amber, it does a little maybe, but for me this is always going to be a borderline aquatic freshie. It's just so dreamy and floaty, and the ambrox is really well done here. It doesn't it's not like Sauvage. I know I always use that as a reference point, but that's probably the easiest and best reference point to describe ambroxan. The ambroxan in this helps with the longevity of the perfume, but it doesn't dominate the dry down. It doesn't take it over. It doesn't smell like the most natural smelling fragrance, because I don't think it is. But it does smell beautiful. It smells incredibly clean and incredibly fresh. Now, someone I was talking to says it smells a lot like Tommy by Tommy Hilfiger, which is a fragrance I haven't smelt in absolutely years, but I do remember liking it. But obviously Tommy has not really got not excellent performance at all. This one does. So much so, it's probably going to surprise you when you wear it. I wore it out to the pub with family and friends, and my family disappeared, and I sort of ended up staying out way too late. Came home at silly o'clock in the morning, thought I'd have a little sit down on the settee before going to bed, and obviously fell asleep. Woke up in the morning and I could still smell it absolutely everywhere. So performance is excellent, especially for this kind of scent profile. If you want something light, sweet, bitter, sharp, zingy, refreshing, all of those cliches fit in well with this one. In terms of what it smells like, I can't really confirm or deny on the Tommy thing, but I trust the guy that said that, so yep, no problem there. Some people think it smells like a Bleu de Chanel. I don't. I think it's got that kind of blue-like feel to it, but I wouldn't say it smells the same as BDC. If anything, it reminds me a little of Bulgari's Tiger, which is also by Jacques Cavalier, so there's probably going to be some similarities there. In fairness, I haven't done a side-by-side with the two because I don't own Tiger, but I do remember it quite well, and I have got some clones of it. So it's in that world. I think I prefer this one, purely because it lasts so well, and it never really loses that freshness. It's just a clean and invigorating perfume that smells amazing. And if you're wearing it, you will smell amazing. There's no doubt about it. Because it's so, and it is quite a generic smelling perfume, you will definitely recognise it. Think, oh, I've smelled that before. But you won't be able to pinpoint exactly, because I think it is quite unique, despite the fact it's influenced or it smells similar to so many different kinds of fragrance. But you will smell wonderful. People sitting next to you or people near you will think you smell wonderful. Because of the way it performs, it has some pretty good projection for the first couple of hours, but it doesn't seem to lose its sillage. So even when it drops off, it does sit above your skin. So it's noticeable for the whole time you're wearing it, but you leave a beautifully clean, fresh, and as I say, keep saying, invigorating sillage that will follow you around for, you know, for all day, basically. I think the performance on this is immense, and that's probably why it's so expensive, because my main gripe with this fragrance is the cost. It's, I think, £215 for 100ml retail. Because it's Louis Vuitton, they're a brand that protects their image, they protect their rights. You're never really going to find it via discounters. They don't indulge in the grey market like a lot of the sort of bigger French houses. So you will struggle to get it at a discount. But if you can get it partially in a group or something like that, then cost-wise, it's a bit better. But I do have a problem with the pricing of the perfume. I think it's way too expensive. But I do think it's an excellent fragrance, and I can see why it's generating so much hype. You know, this could easily kind of get to sort of, I don't know, Aventus levels of hysteria, because it is a fantastic fragrance, and as long as they don't muck about with it and reformulate it, I think it will do really, really well. So who can wear it? Well, you know, it's a masculine fragrance. It really is. It kind of fits into that sort of older world of masculine fragrances, but it's got a very, very modern feel to it. It's not a teenage fragrance. I think the thrusters will love it, but I think for me, this just, I don't know, there's something about the grapefruit and the ginger. It leans quite mature for me. So I particularly like it. I think my age group, you know, the late 30s, they will really, really excel in it. But it is very much a masculine fragrance. And saying that, and I do say this quite often, I think masculine fragrances and women smell fantastic. So I think if you're a woman and you want something fresh and zingy, then have a look at this. Again, it's difficult to recommend a perfume that costs this much. I feel awkward saying, oh, it's fantastic or whatever, but it is a fantastic perfume. I just, you know, don't rush out and buy it, and certainly don't blind buy it, because it is a lot of money. And, you know, once you've tried it, you may find that you prefer some of the other cheaper alternatives to it that kind of do a similar job, but I don't think they do it as well as L'Immensité. I think this is a fragrance that does exactly what it sets out to do perfectly well, and the performance is excellent. So that's what kind of gives it the edge to me over lots of similar fragrances. But you might prefer some of the similar cheaper ones, and I totally respect you for that. Got no issues with that at all. So definitely try and sample it. Because it's Louis Vuitton, you will find them in your Selfridges, your Harrods, I think. And obviously, maybe if you've got a high-end sort of retail store in your local area, you may try and find, you know, you may find it there. But yeah, I think it's a cracking perfume. I totally get why people love it, but I also understand why people are so frustrated by it, because it's not doing anything new. It's not revolutionary at all, but it does smell incredible. So there you go. That's my take on L'Immensité by Louis Vuitton. Is it worth the hype is the question, and I have to say yes, but it's too much money. So there you go. It is worth the hype, but it's way too expensive. my take on that. Anyway, listen, thank you ever so much for your time, and we will see you soon on the next video. So cheers, thanks, and bye.